Cameron, also known as the Knitty Muggins around here. And I thought I would just do a quick little intro video. I have a little one in my lap. So if you see me kind of moving and looking down, that's what I'm doing, is I'm trying to comfort one of my kiddos. And if you hear a lot of thunder, I'm sorry. I live in the Dallas area. Today is Sunday, December the 27th. So if you've seen on the news, last night is the night that a lot of tornadoes hit our area, and we had some really scary weather, and we still have a lot blowing through. Thankfully, so far our area has been okay, and our neighborhood was not hit last night, but it has gotten kind of gnarly in our area. So if you hear thunder, or noise, that's what you're hearing, is the thunder. But I just kind of wanted to do a quick little intro on who I am, how I started knitting, and kind of what to expect. So, like I said, my name is Cameron, but a lot of people decided to start calling me the Knitty Muggins, and it is because it's very rare to find me not knitting lately. I started knitting in my mid to late 20s. I was, I believe, pregnant with my second child. I have four children, ages 2, 4, 6, and 8. And I was pregnant with my first daughter. So I would have been 28, so late 20s. And I had a very sweet little lady that lived around the corner from me who we went to church with at the time, Miss Marge.
That's Salmon.
Okay. And she noticed that I really was interested in learning how to knit. She was knitting some things for my daughter from when she was born, and I just really kind of got interested because it was one of the things that I had not learned how to do yet. So, because I've always just had this passion for all things crafting. And so she told me that I should come to a knitting group that met on either Tuesday nights or Thursday afternoons at our local library. And I told her I would be thrilled to do so. However, I wasn't able to because at that time I was working at least 40 hours a week. I had 2 full-time jobs, but was supposed to accomplish it in 40 hours.
That's my art school.
Yeah, okay. And okay. And so I was doing that, and I was going to school, I believe at that point 2 hours shy of being a full-time student. Was potty training my son, was pregnant with my daughter, was teaching Sunday school on women's ministry team, doing Bible studies. It's just, I had no time. And so after a while, she said, well, why don't you come to my house, and I will teach you at my house one night when you get a break from school. So when I had a break from school, I went around the corner to her house, and she taught me how to cast on. I don't even remember which cast on method now she taught me. It's not the one that I use now, or my preferred one. And she taught me how to knit stitch, and she told me to make just a regular rectangular cloth for a dishcloth, and to come back to her when I got it to the length that I thought was appropriate. And so it took me several weeks because I did not have much time to knit. And I wanted to go back to her house, and she wasn't feeling very well. She wasn't feeling very well. And then life just got busy for both of us. And yes, and she's also colored on her face. No ma'am. And so I resorted to getting on YouTube and learned how to bind off. And so I did that, and I thought, this is just really time consuming, and I don't really have time for this right now. And I enjoy this craft. It's just not anything I have time for right now. And at that point, I wasn't really crafting much at all, just because I was so busy. Please stop. So I quit crafting, and then when my daughter was 6 months old, I quit working. And knitting is something that I just didn't think of very much. At that point, I was really ready to leave the church that we were attending at that point for various reasons, and was becoming less and less involved, and I was just trying to find my foothold as a stay-at-home mom. I had always held down a job, at least one job, every day of my life since I was 16. So I didn't know what it was like to not clock in and have someone tell me what to do every day. And I don't know, I didn't really think about it. And eventually we did leave that particular church, and Miss Marge, because she was older and needed to be around family, moved away from home. And I just didn't think about it again. And then fast forward several years later, and last year, I believe it was, we were trying to start up a mom's group in our area. And another mother, I was going to be I believe, vice president at the time, and another mom signed up to be, treasurer or secretary or some odd. And if you can't tell, it didn't work out. Our president moved away. None of the rest of us felt like we could take on the full responsibilities of having a chapter of a national moms group. So it didn't pan out. But because of that, I did get to meet my friend Jessica. We became friends. We have 2 children close to the same age. Her 2 are close in age to my middle 2. Yes. And she mentioned that she was knitting, and I said, oh, I did that like a long time ago. I really liked it. I really would love to get into it again. It has just been so long since I've touched needles, because I learned how to knit, like I said, at 28, and last year I was 34. I turned 35 at the end of last year. No, it wasn't last year, it was this year. It was earlier this year. So I was 34, I turned 35 this past October. So I kind of putzed around. I made some doll clothes for my girls, because I have 3, and so we have a lot of naked baby dolls running around the house. And then I had a friend who found out she was pregnant. My friend Sarah found out she was pregnant with her first daughter, 4th baby, first daughter. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to try this whole knitting in the round thing. So I ordered a set of circular interchangeable knit needles. Please stop. Thank you. And I knit the Fiona dress from Stacey Perry at Very Pink Knits, and really enjoyed that. And after that, it just kind of took off. I was like, oh, knitting in the round is a whole lot easier than I thought it would be. And double pointed needles aren't as scary as I thought they were going to be. And so I started ordering double pointed needles. And pretty much if I'm knitting on flat needles, they're double pointed needles, either the short or long. I have both sets. And I found out about a local yarn store, which really is about a 20-minute drive from me, but not too horrible. And it's a fabulous, fabulous store. The owner, Diane, is just a fantastic, lovely woman. And I went to her store and I started looking, and I saw the Top This hat kits. And my kids fell in love with them. And so that was the next things I knit several of the Top This hats for my kids. And then people at church started seeing the hats, and they wanted their kids to have some. And I generally said no, just because it's I'm not the fastest knitter in the world, and because I'm taking care of my 4 young children and I homeschool, knitting time is very valuable and precious, and not always something I get to have. So I generally said no. I did have 4 children, all in the same family, who offered to barter with me, which I thought was fantastic. And they said, look, we know, we know that this isn't something we should necessarily get for free or just ask for. So what can we do in exchange for you knitting us a hat? And even though it was not necessarily an even exchange, one of the girls, she happens to be 9, she made me some potholders. I thought it was such a sweet effort on her part that I went ahead and I knit her a hat as well. And so I did several of those, and then I got into my Christmas knitting, which I did a video of previously, but we'll post after this one, and you can see what I knit for Christmas. So it really, I kind of went from knitting a dishcloth many, many years ago to learning a ton and just kind of having this knitting explosion and getting to the point, woo, getting to the point where if I'm not knitting, I feel kind of like I don't know what to do with my hands. I love you too. Um, so I really enjoy knitting. And I thought, I see so many podcasts. I don't know many who are knitting homeschoolers yet. I know there are so many of us out there. And if you know of any, please link below, comment below. I would love to follow them. But I thought, I would like to do this. I would like to show people that you don't have to be a long time knitter. I've really only been knitting since, I believe I did the Fiona dress back in March. So that's when I really started to knit. And now, of course, I'm addicted and I have my yarn stash, and I have to tell myself to not go to our yarn store pretty often, or otherwise I'll be poor. But you can do it. You can gain skills and get confident. And if you make a mistake, it's fine. It's just like we teach our kids when we're homeschooling. You make a mistake, you learn from it, you move on. You don't dwell on it. You don't badmouth yourself for it. You don't get down on yourself. You take it and you learn from it. And so that's what I thought I would share, is just the journey of gaining more knitting skills and what I'm able to accomplish, and just the journey in general as a knitting mom to 4 little ones that we homeschool here in the Dallas area. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you for checking out this video, and I hope you return in the future. Bye.